Welcome you to our 15-minute desk wellness series class, Get Thinner from Your Dinner. Hello, everyone. My name is Lance Breger. I'm the CEO and executive wellness coach at Infinity Wellness Partners, and I truly care about helping you experience the greatest career, health, life, happiness, and relationships. And there's not very many wellness topics like nutrition, food, drink that can have the most profound transformative effect on the way you think, feel, look, work, and sleep in all different areas of your life. Let's dive into a very, very important topic, and we're going to start with why is a thinner dinner important to you? Why is transforming your body, your health, the way you're eating in the evening, how can it make your life better? Think it and ink it. This is your true inspiration. We want to remember our why that pulls us forward, not pushes you to motivate, but pulls you in inspiration to make change. Who or what in your life are you willing to change and make your dinner even more optimal when you may not want to, when you may want to do what we've always done? Maybe you're tired. Maybe the family is all demanding things on you. How or what or who is inspiring enough for you to make consistent long change? Let's use that as your inspiration moving forward. Now what I'm going to do is share 7 S's of a thinner dinner with you. Get out your pen and notepad so you can write down the S's that you feel can work best for you. How I put these together was leading up to dinner, during dinner, and after dinner. That's how the little flow of these S's are going to go. First, one of the best ways to reduce the appetite that you have going into your dinner is to make sure that you're having a well-balanced, nutrient-dense snack in the late afternoon. A well-balanced meal can last you for about 4 hours. Now, if you had lunch around 12 or 1, that's going to end at about 4 or 3, depending on your timing, or 5. So what we want to do is make sure that you have a snack that can help you not go into dinner starving. Because if you're starving, you're going to eat fast and you're going to look for carbohydrates to get fast energy. So the best snack that you could always turn to is raw vegetables. You can have as many raw vegetables as you want. They're high in vitamins, fiber, water. They're crunchy, and they won't fill you up too much so that they spoil your dinner. Another alternative is to incorporate healthy fat, like some raw nuts or seeds. Could be a great way to have a little bit of fat and protein in the afternoon so that you can go into dinner not feeling famished. S number 2 is a huge one, pun intended. Size. Sumo wrestlers become sumo sized by eating large meals and going to sleep. Most of us have a small breakfast, if anything, a medium-sized lunch, and a big, huge dinner. Well, why are we having all of our food and energy when our activity level is the lowest, when our metabolism is the slowest, and we're about to go to sleep, which the body goes into storage mode? Whoa. So what if you change to a bigger breakfast, medium lunch, and a small dinner known as supper or soup, something light, something smaller? Just by changing the size of these meals, you will change your energy, your waistline, your ability to stay focused, your metabolism. It's amazing. Why don't you have the most fuel when your body needs it the most? Wouldn't that make sense? I didn't know this, and when I applied it, it made a huge difference. So you don't even need to change your foods, just change the size. So start to move to a smaller dinner and notice how you sleep better. You wake up feeling more refreshed and feeling tight and lean in the tummy. The third S is sugar, also known as carbohydrates for adults. Now, when we have a meal that has a higher ratio of carbohydrates to fat and protein, that causes your body to store sugar and store fat. Now, you may look at this lovely dinner and say, oh, this looks like a healthy dinner. Well, when you count up the amount of carbohydrates they are compared to the vegetables, the protein, the fat, it becomes imbalanced. We have the bread, we have the wine, we have the mystery dipping sauce for the bread. We have what I think is on the plate, it looks like some sort of potato. So all of a sudden that's 4 different carbohydrates to 1 serving of protein and fat, or in 1 vegetable. So what that does is when you have a high level of carbohydrates, and those are pictured on the left, carbohydrates are any plant-based food created by photosynthesis. They could also be a lot of man-made products. So fruits, starches, grains, most of our beverages are all carbohydrates. Sweets and treats and a lot of condiments also are carbohydrates. So when we have too many of those, insulin, a hormone, goes in and pushes that sugar or that fuel into our cells and causes the yellow little blob up there is a pound of fat. When we compared to low fat, protein, and veggies. But when we have more fat, protein, veggies, and less carbohydrates, we release a hormone called glucagon, which causes our muscles to use our energy and food as fuel. So let's start to lower the carbohydrates when you're looking at your plate and notice how much better you feel, look, and work. The next S is sipping. Now, what you drink, as we just learned, can also have a big impact on your dinner, right? If you're having an alcoholic beverage, if you're having a soda, if you're having a juice, these can be extra calories and extra carbohydrates, which throws off your balance, causing you to not have a thinner dinner. A great rule of thumb is to not drink your calories. That means opting for filtered water, opting for an herbal tea, opting for a sparkling water. There's many different ways that you can have a little something to drink while keeping your carbohydrates and calories and sugar low. It's also recommended not to be downing lots of liquid during a meal because it can dilute our stomach acids, causing more challenge. And most of us already have we'll say, a not optimal digestive system. So think about how you can change what you're sipping on to be able to improve what you are consuming before you go to sleep. The next S is successful. What makes a successful thinner dinner, Lance? Well, this acronym always leads you to building muscle and reducing your body weight and body fat. That acronym is FFPP or PPFF, whatever makes you laugh and helps you remember it. That stands for fat, fiber, plants, and protein. Fat, fiber, plants, and protein. So if we're incorporating some sort of plants, fruits and vegetables, definitely higher on the veggies. You can double, triple those up. You have fiber, which primarily comes from plants or slow digesting complex carbohydrates like wild rices, quinoas. Those also have fibers. And also a good source of fat. Always make sure that you're using some sort of good source of fat that's either coming from the food, like avocado or cold pressed olive oils or coconut oils, adding a little bit of nuts and seeds on top. If you're open to eating seafood or animal proteins, those have fat built into them. If you're a plant protein eater, you can still have your lentils, your beans, all your different types of legumes that help you get a complete protein, but you're going to want to make sure that you balance that with lots of plants and greens and good healthy fat, because beans, legumes, lentils, they actually have a higher percent or ratio of carbohydrates compared to the protein. So you'll just want to make sure that you're balancing that well. So this is what sets up a successful dinner. And we also want to stop. Yes, we want to eat until 80% full. We don't want to eat until 100% full. It's uncomfortable to go to sleep bloated. This is a great rule for all your meals. Leave room for energy. Leave room for life, for work. When we eat 100% full or more, all the blood goes down into our digestive tract and it leaves the brain, and we get tired and sluggish, and we don't want to do work, we don't want to exercise, we don't want to dance, we don't want to live our life, and we will usually want to just relax and lay there. So by eating 20% less of your food, you get 20% less calories as well. So go to sleep with a nice, satisfied yet empty, light stomach feeling, as opposed to being 100% full. And that's why the snack in the late afternoon matters. And now, last S is sleep. It's recommended that we have about 2 hours between the last thing we ate and when we go to bed, just so that our digestive tract is completely rested and that we don't have to use a lot of energy while we're sleeping to digest all this food. So that can be a helpful rule to help you to know when you're going to stop eating, so that we're not snacking or having late night treats or late night habits. So remember the 2 hour window of eating your dinner or finishing your dinner and allowing at least 2 hours before you go to bed. So those were we'll share with you again, we'll review the 7 S's that we took you through. And now what I wanted to do is help you create a thinner dinner based on the S, successful dinner acronym of PPFF or FFPP. So let's make a dinner together. What would be a great protein that you can have tonight, or something that it could even be tomorrow based on what you have available and what's already planned? What is going to be your protein source tonight? Write it down. Awesome. Now, what's going to be the plant or plants, colorful, vegetable-based plants that you like, that you enjoy, maybe people in your family enjoy? Write down what the plants you're going to fill up on your plate. Is there going to be any other fiber, or just, and it could be the same answer as the plant category, what's your fiber? Now remember, that's just the skeleton of any sort of plant. So that can also include fiber that comes from vegetables like starches, like sweet potatoes and yams and squash, as well as different rices, quinoas, and non-gluten based grains like oats. And then what will be your source of fat? Are you going to use avocado? Are you going to use a little olive oil? Are you going to use coconut oil? Are you going to sprinkle on nuts and seeds? What are you going to use as your source of fat? Perfect. And what are you going to drink too? Remember, we don't want to drink our calories. We want to keep it light with something water. It can be a hot water. It can be a herbal tea. It could be a sparkling water with a squeeze of citrus, a little bit of mint in your water with cucumber. You can make it still aesthetically pleasing and flavorful without lots of calories and carbohydrates. Excellent. So here are your 7 S's again. Snacking in the afternoon, smaller dinner size, reducing the ratio of carbohydrates on your plate with sugar, sipping, be mindful of what you're drinking during your meals, especially dinner, because it can add up. The successful acronym for a thinner dinner is fat, fiber, plant, and protein, FFPP, PPFF. Stopping when you're 80% full and leaving room for life, and being able to fall asleep with a good feeling body and stomach, and allowing 2 hours from the last thing you ate before you go to sleep, so you can have a great digestion and wake up with lots of energy because your body doesn't have to work on processing that food all night. So now what are we going to do to take information and put it into transformation through inspired action? There's a lot of action going on outside of my home right now and office. So what is the one thing that you will do until our next class next week? One thing. And what is the immediate action that you will do soon as you close down the webinar? You have 5 seconds to do something and take action on your impulse. Right? Maybe it's texting someone about what to prepare for dinner. Maybe it's creating your grocery list. Maybe it's scheduling when you're going to go grocery shopping. Maybe it's looking at the menu for takeout tonight and choosing where's the protein, where's the plants, where's the fat. What's the action that you can do? Are you going to minimize the amount of food that you serve? Are you going to change your drink tonight? Take an action immediately and make that change. Remember, when you change, your body changes. When you change, work changes. When you change, your life and health and happiness and world changes. Feel free to send your questions, feedback, and request additional information below, and I will see you at our next program. Thank you so very much for being here.